You may have seen this video making its rounds. Texan Representative Eugene Wu, is taking a pretty big gamble by mask offing during an interview. Now, this was from a year ago, but I don't know what dark corner it would never popped off, never became viral. Now it is. It's a pretty wild thing for a Chinese guy to say. Odd for him to have such a chip on his shoulder with two well-off parents and him living as a politician in the USA, one married to a journalist, which I'm sure is totally above board. Anyway, the video.
I always tell people the day the Latino, African American, Asian, and other communities realize that they share the same oppressor is the day we start winning. Because we are the majority in this country now. We have the ability to take over this country and to do what is needed for everyone and to make things fair. But the problem is our communities are divided. They're completely divided. And I talk about this. I always tell people that.
Oh, dearie me. I may have been wrong about the Great Replacement theory after all. I like that he says like all of the colors and then says oppressors. Well, he's not going to specifically say white people. He just says oppressors. It's like saying allegedly. Allegedly, person A lights their dog on fire. Or allegedly, person A punts kittens into wood chippers. Allegedly, person A sacrifices babies to Satan. You can't just go around saying allegedly about someone, and that's like a magical spell. Like, with all due respect, that's ridiculous. This isn't Talladega Nights. And were you smart enough to figure out that he was talking about white people? We've come to the point where you can not just be racist towards whites, but outright state that you intend to smelt down the minorities of the country and reforge them into a proverbial weapon that you will use to kill the white man. And leftists cheer it on. They say we deserve it because it's stolen land, as if the stolen land is theirs to give to the Chinese.
One question I want to make sure I ask you: you're Texas made, right? You immigrated here
Sure,
at the
sure.
age of.
Sure. Sure, yeah, sure. So someone asks you, you're the Texan representative of this place for this district, 137, for a long time now, right? And you've lived in the USA for basically your entire life. Someone asks you if you're Texan made, and you think, yeah, sure. That's a weird way to respond to that.
Can you talk to us about your personal immigrant story?
So my dad came before we did. He went to University of Oregon, which is why my name's Eugene.
I was wondering that.
And my American name is Eugene. I have a Chinese name as well.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Look, I get that languages and pronunciations are wildly different, and the Chinese pronunciation, like even like the Roman words in Chinese don't really translate very well. They're not pronounced any way they look. But saying American name sounds so much more sinister when you've explicitly stated that you intend to usurp the country.
And then later on, he went to UT Permian Basin for his nursing degree, and because that's how you get a green card, right? And so we joined him in Odessa, and like at 4.5, I went from the third largest city in China to a town of 20,000. You want to talk about culture shock. So that was interesting. And after that, after he finished his degree, we moved down to Houston. He became a nurse at Methodist, and my mom ended up working at Methodist as a biotech as well. And that's basically.
But this is Texas's home.
Yeah, Texas is home. Houston is home.
And now he praises immigrants for some reason.
And it's been amazing to watch the city grow and watch the immigrant community grow. Chinatown, when we first came here, was one grocery store.
Now you have two Chinatowns.
Right. Which shows you the financial power.
That is such a weird thing to say. It shows you the financial power. What an odd thing. Why would you have mentioned financial power in reference to the good nature of the immigrants? Are they not talking about the fact that they're good people, these undocumented immigrants? Is that not what they're saying? I mean, what did the restaurants just make money just magically appear out of thin air? Is that what's great about them? They're a boost for the economy because having a Chinese restaurant just fabricates dollar bills out of nowhere, right? I mean, if that money came from an American's pocket, It's only proof that people eat, not of them being a good person or making the country any better, for that matter. It just means that there is now a Chinese person in the country selling Chinese food. That's all that really means. And I recall the EB5 visa when he talks of this. The EB5 visa, well, see, in, was this 2022? In 2022, nationals from China, India, and Vietnam comprised more than 3/4 of the EB5 emissions, and China alone represented 56.3%. And last year, I looked it up, last year was 55% for China, so it went down about 1%. But China still is 55% per year, thousands of people per year coming into the country through the EB5 visa. And the EB5 visa is an immigrant investment visa. It's encouraged to boost foreign investment and economic growth. So basically, it allows people to buy their way into the country. It's $1,050,000 now. It was improved or increased in price over the years, but it's $1,050. Or if you do the T system, which is targeted employment area, it's 800,000. And there are like stipulations to it, and I don't know if you get to decide where the money goes, or like it's not like Trump's gold card thing where the money goes straight into the treasury. There's thousands of people buying their way into the USA every year from China. Now, he's making it out as if these restaurants here that are being opened are like somehow making America a richer country, but it's American money that's being spent at these Chinese restaurants in America. So that's really just a loop, honestly. I don't understand where the money's coming from. I'm not saying it's coming from these EB5 visas, but we do have thousands of people buying their way into this country, people with money to throw around, and then once they're here, we still have rich people throwing money around. So I just thought that was a bit weird of him to say that the financial power of this.
Of the Asian community.
But in terms of the political culture of the country, the polarization that faces the country, how this country continues to deny its history to itself.
Yes.
All of those things, Texas is going to decide.
That's what the book bans and the CRT ban and all that stuff, that's what that's actually about. Right? There is a real effort to make sure that history is not taught, to make sure.
Really? There isn't. I mean, he's not wrong. The thing is that like pretty much every country does that.
That people don't learn about the past, because when people learn about the past, when people learn what's going on right now and compared to what happened 100 years ago, they're going to be pissed.
Really? And what happened 100 years ago that's worse compared to now? Is it how women can now do anything, including just walk around naked and become super rich by taking off their clothes? How they can just twerk on the TV screen and become a millionaire and never have to worry about anything? Is that worse than how it was? Because I see Redditors complaining about how, oh, women couldn't open bank accounts until the mid-1900s. Oh my god, because it was so normal for people to have bank accounts in the early 1900s. What was so much worse now that was better back then? I'm like what are we talking about? 100 years ago compared to now, and people are going to be pissed learning about it? Like, well, oh my god, I can't believe that slavery existed back then. Oh, it makes me so angry. I don't care that it's abolished now. I'm still angry for some reason. Why people are still talking about it as if people are walking off the boats, as if people in the South are in the Confederacy. There's people who wave the flag. There's people who act like slaves, but it's abolished. It's gone. These people are role players. That's what they are. What is this dude talking about?
And part of why there is this concerted effort to cover all this stuff up is to say,
what?
Basically, these people will come and support us as long as they don't know what we did.
What is he talking about? As long as they don't know what we did. What, is slavery hidden? Is that a secret? What are there slavery deniers that I don't know about? I know there's Holocaust deniers. Are there slavery deniers? What is he talking about? I legitimately don't understand what he's saying. He's a first-generation immigrant, holding a political position and trying to oust the dominant people of this country by using racism. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he was using sexism too. I mean, where's the bar for someone like this? And I think that's funny, because this is the exact reason why Trump won in 2024. If Democrats had been even half sane, they would be leading the country right now. But they went full Delulu mode, and it turns out that a lot of women and minorities saw through their lies. It turns out that women aren't so stupid to see blatant sexism in favor of women and think it's equality simply because it favors them and they're women. But let me be entirely fair. He's a politician. If he wasn't, I may assume that he's just some racist jackass, but he has something to gain. This is what politicians always do, usually not in such a haphazard way, such as Wu, Kamala, and Trump too have done this, but the whole the whole club you over the head overtness with their politics. But a politician's goal, all the same, it is to swindle as many people as possible in order to net as many votes as possible. And that doesn't mean that the promises they make are going to be good for the country. It just means they're making promises to get themselves elected. Is he a racist? Others think he is a spy. He's won his district repeatedly, so he must be at least decent in politics. So what's the deal with this statement he's making? Maybe he sees this as a tipping point, and he's going all in. It will be interesting to see the next generation, the next general election. As you can see, he's pretty solidly taken it for 14 years now. Well, it says actually it stops at 2024, so I'm not quite sure. But he's got a handle on it, and it's going to be interesting to look to see what happens next. Because what they see as blatant racism and sexism and whatever, and some people will go along with it because it benefits them, and other people will not go along with it, and some people will be deported and won't have the opportunity to go along with it. And he himself does happen to state that his district is at least 1/3, if not more, of undocumented immigrants.
Just your estimate.
I think even a rough estimate of my district, I would say easily a third are undocumented, if not higher.
If not higher.
Yeah. And
I mean, what a weird thing to just say, as if it's like... Okay, I want you to imagine that you are in a foreign country, a foreign universe, high fantasy, sci-fi, whatever. Imagine you are listening to a politician proudly proclaim that half the people of your city are illegal immigrants. Imagine hearing the politician defend these illegals, using soft language like undocumented to protect their image, claiming that without them, the country would fall apart.
these are all the people who take care of everything in your life. They work for your companies, they clean your house, they mow your lawn, they take care of things that you don't even know that they take care of.
As if the legal citizens of that country are too stupid or too inept to do anything themselves. He says it as if you're a slave master.
And if they're gone, if they're deported, you will, I promise you, you will feel it immediately.
The politician entreats you with the threat of how miserable your life will be when they say these immigrants are no longer around. But it's not an approach to your sympathy, nor is it an appeal to your laziness. It's a threat. Because this politician is riling up those undocumented immigrants and telling them to take what you own. I ask you to imagine yourself in another world because I fear that even hearing it from the dragon's mouth will not be enough to convince most leftists. And by dragon, I'm not talking about myself. How can you hear him explicitly say these things and see no fault in it? By my discrimination, he is starting a race war specifically to get votes, or maybe to destabilize the country. He is the prime example of the problem. Power was given to a first-generation immigrant raised by a foreigner, and that power was turned against the nation. And you know what? Maybe it's not even his parents' fault. To be honest, that might be the case, because droves of white American natural-born citizens want to hand this country over to foreigners. He, however, is a politician. He wants to use them. He talks of power himself. He says that they, the non-whites, have the power to take over. To take over. To take over. He's talking about taking over the United States of America. You realize that, right? How many citizens of a country talk about taking over their country? And this isn't some Reddit comment. This isn't some kid on Blue Sky. This is a minority leader of the Texas House of Representatives who has been in politics for years successfully. And he was born in China, just to be clear. Why are we listening to someone say that it's okay to be racist towards racists? Why is that a valid argument in a country that is obsessed with moral policing, obsessed with social identity? Why is it okay to say, well, it's okay to be racist to racists? But you don't really have any kind of proof that literally everyone who's not a Democrat is racist, do you? You're just protecting the illegal immigrants who have illegally invaded and reside in this country against the law because you hate Trump. That's what everyone's doing. This is all destabilization, right? I mean, that's kind of like the most obvious way to look at it. A lot of what's happening with ICE and such on both sides of the fence, just to be clear, is about destabilization rather than progressiveness, rather than about solving a problem, healing a wound. This is about destabilizing things, and what he's saying here, it's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. It's meant to rile people up and to destabilize the government further, so that some people, maybe even not him, and maybe he's doing it for someone else's sake, I don't know, but so that some people can exploit that weakness in the system that's caused by the destabilization. I mean, this is insane. He's talking about using racism to gain power in the country, to take over the country. I mean, how is that okay to say? And also, can we stop calling America a bunch of racist white supremacists? Like, America has had the power for about a century now to eradicate most nations very quickly, like in the span of a day, really, if we wanted to. Did that happen with Venezuela? Has it happened with other countries? I mean, America has the power to annihilate entire continents, and yet we have these people saying that they're going to have a massive orgy and outbreed white people and snuff us off the face of the planet. How is this an okay conversation for people to have? They need to stop, because one way or the other, whether it's whites or someone else, it's going to lead to an actual generation of racism. But right now, that's not what we have. Right now, we have role players. We have LARPers. Yeah, there's a handful of people who really are racist, but that's a minority. That's a huge minority. They are being outspoken, kind of like trans people, to make up a microscopic amount of the population at large. And racists, actual racists, are the same way. Everyone's being called a racist, but reality is that there's not a whole lot of them. Not a whole lot of real, true racists. And even then, the ones that exist don't necessarily act on it. In the same way that trans people aren't necessarily going to go out and do a shooting or something just because pattern recognition. It's insane. It's insane. This is a tiny minority, and it's really not a massive social issue. Whether you're talking about racism or trans people, they are really not a massive social issue. They're a very minor thing, and they shouldn't be treated as this gigantic problem that is completely destroying our country, because this is the result. The result is that it's okay. It's okay to say that you're attacking the country and trying to take it over using the leverage, using the fulcrum of, well, they're racist, so I'm allowed to. It's absurd, and it has to stop, because it's just going to get worse. And in our generation, that might not seem like it's ever going to go anywhere, but the next generation, the one after that, this is going to change the future. Not just our present, but the future of our children. It has to stop. Anyway, thanks for watching.